All right, welcome back to another SegWeather video looking at your forecast for your Sunday, August 2nd of 2026. We're going to go ahead and dive into the details of what to expect for your day, starting off with the radar as of 12:25 this afternoon. We do have some ongoing showers and there's a couple of storms occurring from Canada down towards the southeast. This is all moving in conjunction to a cold front that's currently sweeping across that same area. This is going to bring some unsettled conditions to the East Coast and the southeast throughout your day today. And speaking of that, we do have a flood watch in place for parts of the same areas, seen the rain that fall this morning. And this means that we could see excessive rainfall in excess of about 2 inches being possible. Hence why we do have this flood watch in place for much of the eastern parts of the Midwest, stretching into the Appalachian areas for your Sunday. Meanwhile, the West Coast will be dealing with extreme heat warnings and heat advisories as well. The dark pinks indicate where we have the extreme heat warnings. That means heat index values well over 105 being likely for those areas. And then the oranges indicate heat advisories, which means values over 100 being possible for those areas as well. And then the Pacific Northwest looking at air quality alerts as well for your day today, looking at the smoky skies being placed, and then these light pinks indicative of red flag warnings, meaning we have hot and dry conditions. We'll be seeing a lot of this occur as we head throughout your day today, as a strong upper level jet will be feeding in strong winds, and along with that, looking at that hot, dry air, which unfortunately could lead to potential for more fires to take place. So, not good news with this occurring. Now, looking at the fire outlook for today, we do have up to a moderate risk in place for parts of Montana, Idaho, and parts of Wyoming into the northeastern parts of Utah. This is in conjunction to those fires ongoing. So, if you are in this area, I would recommend being on high alert, as again, these fires are quickly spreading. So, it's highly recommended, at least in my terms, I would say potentially evacuate, as this is again pretty bad for you guys, at least compared to the extreme risk. Critical risk still means it's still pretty bad. So highly advise caution if you're in these areas. And then outside of that, still advise caution if you're in elevated risk today. Some scattered fires still possible for you guys if you're in that orange highlighted area. Now, looking at the current fire situation right now, the Pacific Northwest is still pretty bad with those ongoing fires occurring. So the last several days, it's been a rinse and repeat pattern of the same thing ongoing, as firefighters are still fighting this huge fire that's ongoing in a lot of these same areas. And looking at this evening of the forecast, we do expect, unfortunately, this wildfire smoke to remain in place the course of your day today for parts of the Pacific Northwest, into parts of the upper plains as well. Looking at some reds, some oranges, and yellows, and indicative of where we have those very smoky skies. So we'll see a lot of orange in those areas, maybe even some reds taking place. So we won't even be seeing the sun in a lot of these same areas due to how thick that smoke's going to be due to those fires. And then notice this green strip extending from eastern North Dakota down towards Texas. This is another area of haze, as unfortunately, with the upper level jet right now, just bringing those strong upper level winds, is bringing all this down to the south. And this along a cold front, which is also pulling this air down to the south, which is not helping things at all. So unfortunately, this cold front's acting as a mechanism for allowing this clear to allowing a lot of this smoke to come down here. And unfortunately, even places such as Galveston, Texas, could see some smoky skies. So if you're even in those areas, you may see the skies turn a little bit more white today. That's because of those smoky conditions coming down towards the area at the moment. It does not mean there's going to be any fires taking place. It just means that you'll see more of those hazier skies as we progress throughout your day today. Looking at temperatures, it will be quite hot in the plains, 90s to 100s being likely for you guys. Even the southwest corner of the U.S., temperatures 100s to 120 being likely. The Pacific Northwest, temperatures in the 60s to 70s, so a bit cooler up there. Same thing for the Midwest, Northeast, a bit cooler today, temperatures in the 70s to lower 80s due to the rainfall ongoing. And then even the southeast coast, temperatures may reach the upper 80s, but that'll be before those storm chances do arrive and drop those temperatures down a bit. In the south, looking a bit hot, temperatures in the 90s before the storm chances do get there as well. Now, looking at the upper level pattern as we progress throughout the course of the week, we do expect the southwest to remain quite hot and humid throughout the course of the week. So if we see those dark red anomalies, that means that we have very hot air in place in the upper levels coming down to the surface. So it means temperatures will remain in the hundreds for a huge chunk of this time frame. And even the East Coast, looking at another heat signal potentially being in the picture by the end of this week, which means we can have another ridge potentially set up around this part of the country, which could mean that storm systems may track a little bit to the north. So we could see a track where instead of storm systems coming down like this, it can come like this, which is of course a little weird, but again, these type of things tend to happen in the middle of summer, especially given the pattern that we're about to enter. And then the cooler air up to our north will slowly start to retreat, but temperatures will still be a bit on the milder side, especially in Minnesota, Wisconsin, even parts of New York. Would argue that for you guys could be the case. But for places such as Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, you guys will be a little bit more towards average, as usually anomalies, at least with anomalies such as just on being on the hints of the orange and red, that kind of means near average temperatures for you guys. So that's going to be taking place for your day on, I mean, for much of next week in general. Now, as we look towards a severe weather threat, we do have a marginal risk for strong storms in place for parts of the Appalachians areas. That'll be in place throughout your day today. So low end risk for some strong storms, even parts of the upper plains, same thing, and parts of the Southwest, seeing that being the case as well. Tornado risk looks a bit low, especially for around the Appalachians areas, looking at a 2% chance of maybe a tornado or two. Damaging wind threat, same exact thing, quite a low threat for you guys as well. Even parts of the upper plains and Southwest too, and the hail risk only affecting the upper plains at this time. But looking at the flood threat, it will be there up to a slight risk in parts of the interior northeast, where that same flood watch is in place. That's going to be taking place throughout your day today. Southeast coast could see that as well, and Southwest could see some excessive rainfall being possible, with the surrounding areas being underneath the marginal risk. So don't let your guard down if you are in the marginal risk zones. It still means you could have maybe 4 or 5 cities get some excessive rainfall from a couple of these downpours taking place today. Now, looking at futurecasts from this afternoon and going into Monday morning, we do expect those storm chances to be ongoing, especially for the eastern half of the nation. A closer look towards that. This is this afternoon into Monday morning, and see a lot of scattered showers of storms occurring for a lot of these areas as that front moves off to the east. So expecting a stormy afternoon and evening for a lot of you guys if you are in this general region. So if you have afternoon evening plans, I would highly recommend potentially bringing them inside, because they'll be off non-rain all day long. But that's it for this update. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. And if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe to always get updated on whenever I post a video on this channel. Have a great day and stay weather aware.